Hey there, welcome to Violet's DIY Style. I'm Violet. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to click on that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new tutorial. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. So today I'm going to share with you how I made these two DIY home decor pieces using mainly Dollar Tree items. Now these are very modern if you ask me. I like the way they look, very high-end looking. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab two black plates, one of the larger dinner plates and then one of the smaller ones. And then I also grabbed three of these rainbow metallic candle holder cups. And what I did was add E6000 and hot glue to the bottom of one, and then I centered it on and glued it right into the center of my larger plate. Then I grabbed a second glass cup, and then I'm going to go ahead and add E6000 and hot glue to the rim of the first one that I already glued onto my plate. Then I'm going to go ahead and place that second cup right on top of that. And just let this sit for a good 5 to 10 minutes to allow some of this glue to dry, at least the hot glue. That way you can make sure that everything stays nice and even and it doesn't move around when you add your smaller plate on top to make that tier tray. This is so simple to make, especially if you buy the plates the color that you want them. You don't have to spray paint or anything. Basically, you're just gluing and assembling everything together. So this is a perfect first timers DIY that you can use as a tier tray for your makeup or just around your home in any area of your home, or you can even decorate this to make it a centerpiece. This would be an absolutely beautiful centerpiece with some roses or just flowers and candles all throughout this tier tray. So right now you can leave it as is and you can leave it this way and it looks absolutely gorgeous. But I decided to go ahead and add a third candle holder right on top. That way I can add flowers or a candle or even use it for my makeup brushes right in the center of my top of my tier tray. So this is completely optional. So once all this is dry, again, you can leave it as is, but I wanted to lift mine up higher because where I'm going to place it, I just wanted it to look more high end. So what I decided to do was I found that I had one of these black bowls, also from Dollar Tree, flipped it over, added E6000 and hot glue, then just put my tier tray right on top of it just to give it that elevated height. And I think it made a world of difference to make it look more modern and high end. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, really simple. The second one that we're going to go ahead and do is you're going to grab a painter's canvas. Now, Dollar Tree does have painter canvases that you can use. They're just a lot smaller. This one that I'm using right now, I got two of them for $5 at Five Below. So I thought this was a great price for the size that I got. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the stucco from Dollar Tree and I'm just brushing it on to my painter's canvas. Now you can make it as thick as you like. I didn't make mine too thick, but I did make it thick enough to where I know you're going to be able to see that it has that texture stucco on top of my painter's canvas. Now make sure when you do this, you do add that stucco all around the edges as well. If you wanted that style, I did. I went ahead and made a nice even layer on the top, and then I just went around and added the stucco all throughout my edges of all four sides. Then I let this sit for a few minutes, not too long, just to let it dry up a little bit before I did my design. Now, the reason why I did that and I waited for a few minutes was because I was worried that if I did it, since it was kind of wet, it would move around and it just wouldn't stay the way I wanted it. So I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's the way I did it. So I just went ahead and evened it out as much as I could, made sure my strokes were all the same way so they could all look nice and even. Then I just let this dry. Again, just for a little bit, not too long. And I just kept playing with it just to try to make it as smooth as possible, especially on the top part. Now I did use almost the whole entire bucket or the small one from Dollar Tree of the stucco. Then I grabbed one of these little triangle canvas things that I got with my order from Amazon when I bought a faux wood brush, I guess you could call it, and it came with this. So what I'm doing is just making rainbow styles onto my canvas. Then I let this dry. So once it was dry, I noticed that when I hung it, it really didn't, you couldn't see it as much. So you can do this before you add the stucco if you want it. You can just add the paint to the stucco and then mix it up really good and do it that way. But since, again, I didn't realize that it wasn't going to be very noticeable once I hung it up, I went ahead and just mixed water with paint, and you can use any color of paint you want. I just had this one on hand. It's like a tan color, and I just watered it down, diluted it, and then I brushed it onto my design that I made, which were the little rainbows, and just go ahead and brush it on a little bit darker into those areas. Then once I was done doing that, brushing it onto all the little designs that I made. And again, I just made rainbows just because it was easy. You can make circles. You can use like a bottle cap and make a whole bunch of bubbles all around and use this rainbow colors. There's so many ways you can do this, and so many ways you can use it in different areas of your home. So again, all I did was just paint my rainbow style designs a little bit darker before I went ahead and painted the rest of the canvas. And you don't have to paint the rest of the canvas as well. You can just paint the design that you made and leave the rest of the canvas white. I decided to go ahead and paint also my canvas just to give it a little tint, so everything would look the same, kind of the same color. If you you'll kind of see what I mean once I start doing it. But just go ahead and paint it as dark as you like your designs, or different colors if you want. Then just start brushing on that same paint. And since I didn't want it too dark, the backdrop of this canvas, I just kind of went through and just brushed it on. So whatever was left or thick or not dry onto my design, it would just brush onto the canvas itself. And then all I did was grab a little bit of water. As you can see, I'm dipping my brush in water. Then I'm just brushing around that paint that's already there so I can give that stucco a tint. Now don't add too much water because this is stucco, and it would just remove that texture that you're kind of going for. So just go ahead and just keep brushing it on, a little bit of water, a little bit of paint, until you get it the stain or the color that you like. And then once you're done with the design and everything you like, just go ahead and allow this to dry. I allowed mine to dry overnight, and then that was it. You can hang it anywhere you like, add a frame if you want, but I left it as is. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, again, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. And until next time, you guys stay blessed.